So Boris Johnson just revealed that he is in fact what's the equivalent of a rhino in the United Kingdom. Okay, so we got the same situation up here in Canada where you got not quite conservatives in name only. So conservatives and a cunt. Call him a cunt. Okay, no, Boris denies 2020 lockdown breaking Christmas party, despite everybody who was in attendance for the Christmas party bragging about its occurrence on video. It kind of really does suck to suck here, dude, and especially what you did today doesn't really bode well for you. Leaked video has revealed Downing Street senior staff joking about an alleged lockdown-breaking Christmas party at number 10 last year, published just days before the Deputy Prime Minister denied there was a party at Boris Johnson's residence. So this happened last year, while there were lockdowns for Christmas. Keep a pin in that note. But continues to maintain that there was no such event. On November 30th, the Mirror published an exclusive report claiming that Downing Street staff had a Christmas party on December 18th, 2020 of about 40 to 50 people. Oh, just those who have been sworn into Parliament. We don't need to have the help around. Or maybe they didn't properly account for them because they don't consider them people. While the rest of London was under a Tier 3 lockdown, which banned residents from different households mixing. Oh my god, we can't have the plebs mixing indoors just one day before much of south of England was thrust into Tier 4, effectively cancelling Christmas for many families. Yeah, and if you follow the government, you should probably just, I don't know, fucking get the shot. Were 3 of them, administered by Kim Potter. While many Britons were forced to spend sometimes their last Christmas with loved ones during restrictions. Oh, okay, I get what you're trying to go for. The left-wing tabloid claimed that officials were enjoying Secret Santa at a and a festive quiz. Is that things that Britons like to do? Just sit around and play some kind of fucking borked version of Trivial Pursuit? That's weird. A report was corroborated by another in the Times. Okay, so you got the Mirror, you've got the Times. What about the floor? What about the ceiling? Anyways, which claimed that it told the party was organized in advance via the WhatsApp group. Downing Street denied this week that the party ever took place. However, the Prime Minister on Tuesday would not confirm or deny that there was a party, but remarked that what I can tell you is that all guidelines were observed. Oh, okay, cool. So being purposefully vague about the situation. While Deputy Prime Minister Dominic Raab admitted on Sunday that if the party were held, oh, okay, cool, so doing an OJ writing a book, if I did do it, if I did cut the head off, it would be against the rules and would have been a wrong thing to do. But you know what, that was a year ago. Who needs to drag up those old details? By Tuesday, major British broadcaster ITV News released a leaked video showing Allegra Stratton, which sounds like a prescription medication, the former press secretary for Prime Minister Johnson's expensive and brief foray into White House-style press briefings, joking at the party that number 10 later denied. Yeah, a recently revealed video that was broadcast on television. Okay, whatever. The recording of a rehearsal press briefing from, rehearsal press briefing. Okay, walk that back a little bit. From December 22nd, 2020, for the planned daily televised briefing showed around a dozen number 10 staff joking about cheese and wine at a gathering that definitely was not socially distanced. I don't know. How big is 10 Downing Street? I don't know, man. Speaking from where the press would presumably be sitting, a man identified by ITV as Johnson's special advisor, Ed Oldfield, questioned Stratton, a former establishment media journalist who, in fact, did not host a single press event before the Prime Minister abandoned the plans, in rehearsal over reports on Twitter that there was a Downing Street Christmas-style party on Friday night. Stratton laughed before saying, I went home, laughing again, and then failing, even in a rehearsal format amongst staff, to tackle such a serious allegation of number 10 breaking lockdown laws. Following the pause, Mr. Oldfield, appearing to play at being a journalist, then asked if Johnson would condone having a Christmas party, again provoking laughter from Stratton, now the UK's COP26 climate cheerleader, who then responded, oh, what's the answer? What's a party? It wasn't a party. It was cheese and wine. Oh, okay, cool. So there was no disco ball. There was no outdated techno music. It was just merely a fucking wine mixer. Awesome. A boxed or goblet? One Downing Street employee said, appearing to acknowledge that there was indeed a party, that there was a facade, was that it did not somehow qualify as such. Is cheese and wine all right? It was a business meeting, Allegra continued, playing along with the charade in the 9 Downing Street press room, just down the street, which cost the taxpayers some £2.6 million sterling to refurbish and kit out, and then it was never fucking used. But don't worry, it's not the biggest affront to taxpayers, because for a second year in a row, Christmas looks to be cancelled again. Because Omicron virus, Makoof. Sure. Remember how Boris Johnson said, oh, there wouldn't be any vaccine passports in the United Kingdom and the mask mandates are silly. And then, you know what, hey, I think about a week ago at this point, oh yes, mandatory masks are back. Okay, and now today, vaccine passports, they're here to stay. Speaking after a day of swirling controversy over an alleged lockdown-busting Christmas party at Downing Street, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has introduced vaccine passports for England and has extended a number of other measures, potentially pointing to an imperiled Christmas for the second year in a row. So this story here has been updated, so we're just trying to give you the most up-to-date news possible. Prime Minister Johnson suggested the UK will need to have conversation about possible mandatory vaccinations. Remember how I said it wasn't going to stay contained to Germany, Europe, and even Italy? Now it's finding its way to the United Kingdom. Don't say I didn't tell you so. Responding to a question from a member of the public, soon to be former, on possible mandatory vaccinations, Prime Minister Johnson said that while he had said early in the pandemic that he didn't want to have a society or a culture where he forced people to get vaccinated, he's received substantial stacks to sway his opinion on the situation. There's going to come a point where we're going to have a conversation about which way we deal with this pandemic. How about by stop it? How about that? Stop fucking acknowledging the fact that, look at the symptoms of the new variant of concern. It's not very concerning, but you do you, I guess. Just wait for the fucking fiery backlash, stupid. And it's unfortunate, because he's supposed to be the conservative in the room. Meanwhile, he's just kowtowing to everything that Labour ever fucking wanted in their wildest dreams. And Labour has a fraction of the fucking seats in the House. You fucking mongoloid. God, you're starting to act like the way that you fucking comb your hair. Prime Minister continued, I want to be absolutely clear with you. I don't believe we can keep going indefinitely with non-pharmaceutical interventions. Why? Because they're showing promise? And you just want to keep people in fear? I mean, restrictions on people's way of life, just because a substantial portion of the population still, sadly, has not gotten vaccinated. Again, can you explain breakthrough cases then? No? Oh, okay, too difficult. I get it. And I think we'll need to have a national conversation about the way forward. And the other things that we can do to protect those who are hard to reach, who haven't got vaccinated for one reason or another. We'll have to start knocking door to door, seeing if anyone is indeed hiding in the attic, and we cannot have that. We will fight them in the air and on the beaches and in the sea and the land and the sky. We will never surrender to those unvaccinated. Fuck off. Prime Minister Boris Johnson spoke to the government's Blue Press briefing room Wednesday night, itself a scene of the day's Allegra Stratton's lockdown party comments controversy, announcing new lockdown measures for England, blaming the government's lack of knowledge about the Omicron variant for the move. Again, do you want to be filled in on the situation? Shouldn't be that concerned. Mr. Johnson said the fact that the Omicron was spreading considerably faster than previously well-known Delta without British government understanding whether it was more dangerous or not. So again, we don't know if it's more dangerous or not. A spoiler, it's not. Revealing that we're now 560... Oh my... how many million people live in fucking Britain? And we got 568 people that have tested positive. What are their symptoms? Well, we can tell you that there's a couple that are just, the common ones that have been around for just about 2 fucking years at this point. Well, actually, depending on where you are, if you were in the homeland of fucking bats and rice, you would have been experiencing this for a full 2 years now at this point. So we got to wait a little bit longer to fucking hit that anniversary date. But no, remember, smell and taste, that's no longer a part of Omicron. Okay, and then a dry cough, that's also not a part of that anymore. So what are you left with? I don't know, fucking increased blood... heart rate, feeling a little bit warm. That's what we're dealing with now, and that's the reason why we need to fucking cancel Christmas for a second year in a row. Mr. Johnson said the fact that Omicron was spreading faster, calling the growth of Omicron exponential. 568 cases. Ooh. Prime Minister said this could mean a big increase in hospitalizations. Could mean a big increase. Okay, hence today's fresh crackdown. Let's get to it. Government is once again asking the public to work from home if you can. Just continuing this fucking cycle indefinitely until different people come in and fucking fix the problem that the government has created. And we'll extend mask mandates to new indoor spaces, including theaters and cinemas. Cool, you shouldn't be going there anyways because there's nothing on. It's your right to do so, obviously. I joke. Although the Prime Minister said that there would be exemptions for eating and singing. Oh, cool, you're allowed to eat and sing. Thanks, Big Daddy government. Govern me harder. The major shake-up. England is said to be subjected to mandatory vaccine status passports for some venues. It's just some venues. It won't expand anywhere. Of course not. Valid if the individual has 2 injections, although the Prime Minister made it clear that it would likely change to 3 soon. That's what a lot of other officials, especially across the pond, were talking about. But because the first video was so gargantuan in length, I want to keep everybody, be respectful to everybody's times. And we'll probably talk about what's going on stateside tomorrow. But yeah, just know that fully vaccinated is no longer 2 jabs. And don't expect that to continue anywhere past probably the new year. You're good for right now if you're just keeping up with everything that the government says like a good little fucking foot dog. If you're just jumping how high the government tells you to, you probably already got the fucking booster anyways, but that's going to be part of the full vaccination strategy that continues to work wonders because my breakthrough cases. Or with a recent negative test, the passes would apply to high-capacity venues like nightclubs. Sweet. Johnson said they would include indoor venues with an unseated capacity of 500 or outdoor unseated of 4,000. Yes, 4,000 in the fucking doldrums of a British winter makes sense. And venues of any type with a capacity of more than 10,000. Oh, okay, so regardless of how big it is or where you're at, 10,000, you're going to have to show a negative test. Thanks, Big Daddy government. You're really keeping us safe from a fucking chill. Prime Minister told the nation, since I spoke to you, it has become increasingly clear that Omicron is increasing much faster than the previous Delta variant. Describe the symptoms. No? Okay. Delta variant, and it is spreading rapidly throughout the world, blah, blah, blah. It's now the proportionate and responsible thing to move to Plan B. Remember, we aren't going back to the tier system, but we got an alphabetical system now. It's better, great, wonderful. So we slow the spread of the Where have we heard this before? Stop with the fucking tired rhetoric, you asshole. Buy yourselves the time to get more boosters into arms, which aren't necessary right now, and especially in the older and more vulnerable people, which, you know, they're probably getting boosted if you do, in fact, find that necessary, because I remember the science on boosters, and you know what, hey, I'm sure locking down the world over that 12 days of increased help from the booster, it's definitely worth it, but fuck this, man. I'm starting to think, people rising up, I don't know, man. We're going to have to start moving on from protests just every Saturday or Sunday afternoon, whenever it's convenient for you. We'll just get onto the streets and make a big ruckus, and it'll just be a nice photo op for people. Eventually, you're going to start pushing people. You're really going to start pushing people, and you're going to find that sweet spot where protests just every once in a while out in the street, they aren't going to be enough. So tread fucking lightly. Let's talk about Juicy Smollett up next. Famous French actor. Just kidding. His case is finally going to fucking jury deliberations, and I'd imagine those should probably be over very shortly. But with that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.